Welcome to another great day of Bible study. I'm so excited to get started. This is one of my uncle's favorite stories. Uncle Richard loves this story. We're going to look at Mount Carmel, which is my mom's favorite candy. And so we are about 3 years after King Ahab is confronted by Elijah, and Elijah says, "No more rain." And Elijah goes up to King Ahab and says, "How about you get all your prophets together, and we'll get me, and we'll have a God face off. We're gonna have a God fight, basically." And so it would be similar to a wrestler, The Rock.
They will go one-on-one with the Great One.
And so that's basically what's going on. We're going to have a fight and see whose God is bigger, whose God is badder. Now remember this week we've looked at Elijah. In every step of the way, our God Yahweh has proven how much bigger and stronger and better he is than Baal, or bigger than Mott. And King Ahab says, "I like this idea. Let's do it." And so they go to Mount Carmel, and they both have a bull, and they put the bull on the altar, and Baal's 450 prophets go first. And here's the rule. No person, no human being can light the fire for the sacrifice. Only the gods can do that. And so the Baal prophets start dancing, and they're trying to get Baal to light the altar. And pretty soon Elijah starts making fun of him, says, "Psh, maybe your God's on a journey. Maybe even he's using the bathroom. Maybe he's doing this. Maybe you're doing that." And Elijah literally says, "Your dancing looks like limping. Like, you guys can't even dance right. You're just dumb." And then this goes on for hours. And they start cutting themselves. These prophets are cutting themselves trying to get Baal to wake up and pay attention and listen, and nothing. Because Baal is false. Baal is not true, and he's not a real God. And so Elijah says, "It's my turn." And he builds an altar of 12 stones. And then he gets jars, and he pours water over the altar so much that there is a trench around the altar, and it is filled up. Just so much water. Does fire burn in water? And the answer is no. That's why firemen use water to put out the fire. And so each one of these stones uses 12, says this is one of the tribes of Israel. You see, Mount Carmel is a place where people used to come to worship God, but now there's probably a shrine to Baal, and mountains are special in the ancient world. And so this is a holy place for Baal, and it's a holy place for Yahweh. And so this is a major showdown. Who is real and who owns the mountain? Because if you own the mountain, you own the people. And so Elijah gets the meat cut out. He cuts the bull up into pieces, and then has all the water put on the altar, and just prays to God. He says, "God, do your thing." And it says fire comes from heaven. But let's remember, in context, this is Baal versus God the whole way through. And most scholars don't really think it's fire that comes down from heaven, but a lightning bolt. Right? And so I can see where that looks like fire to most people. But why do they think it's a lightning bolt? Well, Baal says he understands lightning. Baal says that he controls the lightning. And so God is beating Baal at his own game. Because who's stronger than God? I'll wait. Yeah, no one. And so God is proving how much stronger and better he is than Baal, and using Baal's own game to win. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily lightning or if it's a pillar of fire. It really doesn't matter. What matters in the end is that God is stronger than anything else thrown against him. At the end, all 450 prophets of Baal are slaughtered. They are executed and killed, and that word literally means to slaughter. That's important, because if you don't follow God, hell is real. If you don't follow God, there are consequences. That is the way the world has been set up. So, just like those prophets that did not follow God, they had a punishment when you do not obey what the Father says. When you do not obey what your parents say, there is always a punishment. God will always be true. God is always in control. And it's probably smart to follow him before you follow anything else. We're going to go over to the kitchen and we're going to make little pizza altars today to remind ourselves that God is always in control. The cool thing about the pizza altar compared to the Elijah altar is that when the fire came, the altar was gone. God consumed everything, the water, the rocks, the sticks, everything. And so when we make the altars, we get to eat them. And remember that even when we consume the fake food altars, God consumes all. It is time for cooking. First rule of cooking is wash your hands, ye sinners. So that's what we shall do. And today we learned all about Elijah and Elijah on Mount Carmel. Now, the false prophets of Baal put all their trust in Baal and not in God. Now, you might think that doesn't normally happen today, but I tell you what, it does. When people trust money, when people trust maybe even experts over God, or maybe whatever they might trust without putting God in the equation at all, that would be the same thing. And here's the deal. I almost made it. Anytime you put your trust in something that is not God, you will be disappointed. Only God comes through every single time in his promise. So remember that as you go forward. So today we're going to make some pizza altars, just like Elijah built an altar to God. So the first thing you need is a nice little cracker. The second thing is pizza sauce. Now, how do you get the pizza sauce on there? Today we've got a plastic knife because I left my samurai swords at home. And you just slather on just a little bit of pizza sauce, like so. And you could imagine that could even be the water that Elijah used. And just like there was a bowl for meat, we got pepperoni. Only it's not kosher. So the pepperoni goes on there right like so. And then I like a little extra pizza sauce. So we're going to put some pizza sauce on top. And then you put the cheese on there. And the cheese represents the sticks. And there you go. And an altar was just lots of stones that were built up so that you could worship God. And there is your delicious pizza altar. That was good eating. Nice little snack. Pizza sauce tasting. Crackers are always delicious and good to eat. Oh, yeah. So, that's all there is to it. It's a really simple, basic one that you could have some fun with later. And make like 30 of them and give them away. So, you guys have a great day. Remember, obey your parents. Remember God first always. Trust him before you trust anything or anyone else. Love you guys. Hopefully we'll see you soon here at church. Bye-bye.